That is the saddest death I've ever seen. Wow.
You're about to watch a man die in both ways.
In both mind and soul. How do you do that?
Who knows? But yeah, I'm starting. I didn't realize that you had. For me, I didn't realize that there was a you need to take these classes to graduate in general, and also these classes you need to take in order to graduate from CS.
Oh.
I did not know that those two were different things. So
I think in my case, the degree planner thing we have at school actually differentiates stuff based on like majors and such.
Yeah, mine does it, but it doesn't explain it that well because that's too much money. Clear explanations is too much money. You have to pay someone to make those. But yeah.
And I usually end up talking to an advisor to make sure I'm doing things right.
Yeah, I don't because I'm a loner.
Oh.
I'm a big loner. I barely talk to people at college. But yeah.
I mean, I think right now me and two friends got set up so like I'm next to my friend who's also next to another friend.
Okay.
So it's like 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Makes it easier to hang out.
So I saw a recent. So that was a recent thing that I did not realize I had to do.
Oh.
So cue me now having to take like 6 classes per quarter now.
I've kind of just been doing general ed alongside the CSET classes.
Yeah. So pay attention to. I already stated this before, but pay goddamn close attention to what you need to graduate. All right. Save yourself some trouble. It's fine because it's my last year anyway, so I can afford to make everything just about like studying and shit like that.
Oh.
Right, and I know everyone of my friends is going to be busy as hell as well, so it's going to be oh no, please don't make me do this tutorial. Oh no.
You could have said no thanks.
I don't think it lets you progress if you say no thanks. I'll try again because I have to do this twice. Not to the right. Oh, down.
That's
very gently.
You guys can't see it, but he's doing a big no.
Go big no.
You're just skipping the balloons.
Yeah, I'm just trying because this is actually a terrifyingly large like galaxy in terms of like area, in terms of like movable space area, right?
Oh.
So they could hide the green star literally anywhere they want to.
Oh.
And it's really hard to tell the jingle if you're not paying attention. But yeah, so I'm taking about like 6 classes, but I'm trying. I feel like I really want to do security, so I'm taking the course on that. Ooh, I never noticed this one before.
Yeah, I think we have an elective class on security.
Yeah, there's a couple elective classes that we all have.
I know, because my friend took it.
Yeah. Whoa! You heard that?
That's a bird sound.
Okay. Okay, but yeah, what was it? Yeah, so yeah, security is kind of fun. We're doing like at my work, we're doing like a token authentication because we're too poor and too antiquated to do anything else.
Oh.
So that's the direction we're. Oh, I see it. Clever girl. Terrible girl.
How did you miss?
Oh, we went splish. Oh.
You took a dive.
Happy birthday to the ground.
Yikes! With a capital I.
Oh God. You spelled yikes incorrectly.
No, I spelled it correctly. I just made the I capital.
Yeah. Also, there's been a fairly unfortunate trend in gaming.
Oh?
If you've played a modern game, you can if you played a modern game or you've played phone games, you know stuff like that the thing that the people are doing is login rewards, right? Daily login rewards.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they're there to keep you checking
To
in
keep you
every
going
day,
there every day.
because it's literally an economic disadvantage. It's like economically, what's it? It's the economic model behind dailies is that if you don't check in, if you don't even at least check in, spend like 3 seconds checking in, or like all the load times, whatever, right? Then you're missing out on the item, and they do it in a row, right? And the items just keep getting better and better, right? So if you miss your combo, you're not getting all the good items for when you eventually want to play the game.
Huh.
Oh, you can. Why didn't you tell me earlier?
Because you didn't complain about it.
Oh. The next screen star should be at the end near the blue pillar ice things. I'm fairly sure. But yeah. If you don't log in, you're not getting the stuff, and if you want to play, and if you don't get the stuff, you're at a disadvantage compared to people who do get the stuff. Also,
Yeah.
which is extra fun. So you're basically obligated and forced to log in and get your shit. And that's actually taking time away from like stuff you can actually do. At the very least, it interrupts like the flow of stuff you want to do and adds a few more things to your to whatever schedule you have.
Wham.
Oh,
That's a good sound.
that's a good sound.
Those are good board noises.
But yeah, so like Monster Hunter World does weekly hunts that are completely useless, by the way. Like the type of rewards you get in those weekly missions for hunting for just doing random hunts, like not even stuff you want to do, or like stuff like that. But the type of rewards you get from completing those are so.
How does that kill you?
Huh. They're like so. In any other Monster Hunter game, you can get those items just by like completing a mission, like completing a quest, and then you completing like a gathering quest for those, and then you got all of them. Basically, they're not rare. They're incredibly common to find. They don't take much time to find either if you played the game enough. And you don't have to do stupid nonsense that you wouldn't want to do anyway. But that exists because screw you. And like Fortnite also has the dailies, I believe.
I haven't played Fortnite.
Yeah.
I probably never will.
Probably not. I don't even play Fortnite. I'm very jaded towards first-person shooters, though.
I just don't really play online games.
Yeah. You don't play online, and I've stopped playing shooters for the most part.
Like, the only real online thing I might play is just this cutesy little anime thing.
Oh shit! I remember! Goodbye.
Now that's a death and a half.
I remembered way too late where the green star was.
Alright, now do it better.
Okay, ma'am. But yeah,
Last time I checked, I'm not a girl.
having a fairly good time at work though.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, work is fun. Work is actually great. If you're a guy like me who's been shunned by society forever and bullied a lot as a kid and stuff like that, working is great. You feel like you're actually contributing to a world that doesn't care about you. It's existential. It might sound absurdist, but you know, you gotta be existential about it. If you understand that, then congratulations, you are a big O nerd like me.
I'm only a beta nerd.
Yeah. Big old nerd. But yeah.
I think the whole alpha wolf thing got disproven.
It's not just been disproven, it was just the wrong conclusion to take from those experiments. Oh my god.
Just barely.
But
too.
like the idea behind Alpha Wolf is that if you like the experiment that did that, right, put like a whole bunch of random wolves in like a similar enclosure, right? And the societal structure that they produced was that the goodest male
was on top.
Was all the good stuff, right? And not the goodest males were not
at
on
the
top,
bottom,
right? And then it's like, yo, this might be interesting. Turns out the wolf society structure is actually familial. So like,
I recall reading about that.
Yeah, so it's like, it's actually based on who's the parents and whatnot in the pack like that. So people who spout, not that alpha male doesn't have any sort of, isn't like completely disproven. It just shows that given whatever environment, right? Given whatever environment, if everyone's a stranger to each other, then society would just be built around the strongest, right?
What if people know each other?
And if they're unrelated to each other as well. Kind of.
That was way too low.
No. But yeah, it's kind of like a similar thing, like similar misunderstanding. There's the Mice Utopia experiments. Do you?
That doesn't sound familiar to me.
Okay, Frederick Knudsen did a video on it, so if you know who that guy is, you can probably find a video on it.
I probably won't remember to.
Okay. You know who Frederick Knudsen is, right?
I probably heard his name at some point.
He's the guy who makes the In the Rabbit Hole videos. Down the Rabbit Hole videos.
Down the Rabbit Hole?
Yeah. Which does a whole bunch of stuff, basically. Basically, Mouse Utopia experiment. Basically, some guy, right? He made this enclosure, and he made this enclosure where he basically gave unlimited food, unlimited nesting. Basically, there was an unlimited supply of everything except space. Only space was fixed, right? So like water, food, and basic survival essentials for mice, right? Everything was there, right?
And everything was always there.
And it'll always be there, right? And so the only thing that was fixed is the space. And so he was experimenting like what overpopulation would do. So we introduced a whole bunch of rats in this enclosure, right? And then they started propagating themselves, right? Mm-hmm. And then there turned out to be a lot of mice, right? And then what happened when the population reached a certain point? Basically, a whole bunch of things started happening. Like, for example, some mice turning gay, mice not being able to eat unless they're next to someone. Which is basically conditional, like something like that, right? Female rats not like taking care of the young or making nests at all, which mice usually do. And also the alpha rats, the dominant rats, which just like claim stake a territory.
Oh.
Stake a territory and put all the women in it. But basically, there's a whole bunch of things that goes against that would theoretically go against natural whatchamacallits. What am I calling it? The natural way of things, or like survival techniques. Basically, right? So the idea behind it is that the guy who did those experiments is down their death? It's not death. No. But the guy who did the experiments, he concluded that overpopulation in humans will be will cause our downfall, right? Turns out that is completely false. In fact, it's been shown that like when a population gets to a certain point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like as they do,
Yeah.
when it gets to a certain point, the birth rate of humans will actually start to go down until it reaches like an equilibrium point. Like right now, after we're out of World War II, so we have a lot of we still have like a lot of people alive because war effort babies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there's a surplus of the population, but you can see recently that a lot of people are both too poor or just do not care about having children at all. Right? Apparently Luigi can't make that jump. Poor man. But basically, people are getting tired of having babies. All right, and that obviously leads to a check on the human population, and won't ever lead to the overcrowding thing that happened in his experiments. Right. In addition to that, turns out there was actually a whole bunch of experiments made by other people. All right. Oh, I can't even go there.
Can't. That's probably why there's water there.
Yeah. So there's a whole bunch of experiments based off the mice experiments using humans, and they couldn't replicate the results in humans, right? But they actually did manage to replicate it in. Okay, I guess that's not a place I can go. They actually managed to replicate some of the behavior in prisons.
In prisons?
In prisons. Right.
I guess that would make sense considering it probably has similar conditions.
Yeah. Oh, hello. Oh! Hello!
Well, fuck you too!
Rip Luigi. Anyway. I'm still gonna try to go up there somehow. But yeah, they managed to replicate some of the stuff in prisons, and so it's found out that it's not the fact of overpopulation that's the problem that causes those effects. It's the effects of being close to people, right? Basically, you're in an environment where you have no privacy. Is basically what they found to be what the cause of all that stuff. All right.
Interesting.
So and it kind of makes sense because the behavior where the behavior I mentioned where the rats wouldn't eat unless there was someone else there.
Yeah.
That can be attributed to classical conditioning. There.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
You know, the things you might learn in psychology.
Yeah, psychology. Like basically, if you've always been eating next to someone, you'll associate eating as being next to someone. So if there's no one next to you, you'll stop eating because you're not used to it. Basically. Is this just the secret star? Yeah, it is. Okay. Worth it then.
Yeah, if you use the star bits.
Yep. So yeah, that's like the alpha wolf thing, right? That theory was debunked pretty quickly. And it's also kind of amusing that what a lack of privacy can do to a man.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. If you're in first off, imagine a place where imagine a world where you don't have any privacy, right? Just imagine that for a second, right? And imagine what kind of a hellhole that would be. Ooh, Luigi, all right? Imagine you have to go to the bathroom and someone is always there watching you because he wants to wait his turn or something. What will that do to a man or woman?
That'd probably make people either uncomfortable or paranoid.
Uncomfortably paranoid.
That too.
Yeah. So yes, always So yes, always have privacy. I guess that's the. I guess that's what we're taking away from this.
Maybe.
Privacy is a good thing. I hear something. Uh-oh. Okay. Unique. Oh. Oh, okay. Anyway. So what was I going again?
Lack of privacy does things?
Yeah, before that. Before... You mentioned what happened before Alpha Wolf. I forget.
I don't remember now.
Okay. I guess that's our cue to talk about something else.
Probably. What else would we even talk about?
That's a good question.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, you're one hit away from death again.
Yeah. I've been trying to make good on, like, speed running and stuff like that, but I'm too broke for it.
You're too broke for it?
I'm too broke and I don't have the time. Like, I have a job now, and I have to figure out what a capture card is, and which one works with the PSP and stuff, because that's the only thing I can really play games on right now, because my DS battery is, like, completely gonerino.
Oh.
Right. It's a 48. I'm working 40 hours a week too, so not terribly not much time. By the way, if you can, always try to work 40 hours a week, because working a 20-hour week is kind of a giant waste unless you're taking multiple jobs, or you really need the extra time, because chances are you don't need the extra 4 hours a day. Well, not even 4. You don't need the extra 4 hours a day. All right, you can probably survive working, staying 9 hours at your job, including lunch break and everything. But for the most part, if you can, you should probably take 40-hour weeks. Just my opinion, my advice, my opinion. Same thing. I'm always right. Shut up.
Except when you're
Never
not.
wrong. I'm never wrong. I'm always right. I'm the best. Papa bless. Oh yeah, the Papa John guy got... I think he got dismissed or fired or something along the lines of that.
Papa John guy?
Yeah, the Papa John. Papa John. Basically, it was made incredibly clear that Papa John is a massive fucking racist, right?
Okay.
So there was a story on him where, like, there was a image company that was, like, trying to do, like, a mock interview with Papa John, with the Papa John guy, right? Basically trying to get him so that trying to either make him stop being a racist, or at the very least not bring up racism when he's like talking in public, right? And what basically they asked him, like, what is your... So basically it was like, I forget exactly what question they asked him, but like something incredibly mundane that barely had to do anything about, like, black people, right? And then he was like, oh, and like, niggers back in the old day, what happened to them is that we roped them to the back of trucks and so he brings up, like, something nonsense, right? That was completely unrelated to what what the guys were trying to get him to say. Basically the company that was hired to, like, make him stop talking about stuff like that,
They gave up in there.
Yeah, they completely gave up. Which was just fascinating news. Not good news, but fascinating news.
I don't know how you can screw up that bad.
I mean, it's... Oh, come on. It's not hard to imagine why. It's just that we're like mature enough, and we're matured and learned enough. Excuse my vocabulary.
No, I'm wondering how the hell you can fit racism into something completely unrelated.
Oh yeah, I have no idea about that either.
Because that just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.